September 14th, 2025, a date Manchester United fans won't forget. The Manchester Derby, a rivalry of pride, history, and fire. But on this night, only one side looked like giants. City crushed United 3-0.
This time hits Foden! Oh, Haaland's onside! 2! Brilliant again!
Haaland unstoppable, Foden ruthless, Amorim's men helpless. And now, the questions grow louder. Has Manchester United's new era already collapsed? In the days before the derby, optimism flickered around Old Trafford.
Almost 5 years at United going to a derby above City in the table. How do you assess the challenge that they present in this moment, given the start they've had?
It's the same thing. It's a top team with the best for me, the best coach in the league. A team that is really hard to imagine how they are going to play. They change all the time. But we are prepared for that, and we believe in our team, and I have that feeling. So it will be a very good game. We know what to do. We have one more training. The table in the moment, it doesn't matter. Well, I'm just worried about maintaining the same principles, the way we fight for every ball, these small details that sometimes we drop a little bit, not in these games. So I'm more comfortable in this kind of games, but we will be ready against a very, very good team.
Obviously, one of the Etihad last season. How different a team are you now than you were then?
I think we are a better team. I think if you see any aspect, if you see the data, we are a different team. We are ready to play the game, but we have to show on Sunday. So I think we are a better team today.
Amorim's 3-4-3 had shown sparks against Arsenal. Compact pressing, fluid transitions, attacking intent. For the first time in years, some fans dared to believe. The media framed it as a clash of visions. Amorim, the young disruptor from Sporting Lisbon, versus Guardiola, the seasoned genius who built a machine at City. Inside the United camp, there was belief. Amorim promised intensity, pressing, identity. He spoke about culture before tactics, about making Old Trafford roar again. But beneath the excitement, there was fear. United's history since Ferguson has been a graveyard of false dawns. Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ten Hag all spoke of turning corners. None delivered a title. This derby wasn't just about 3 points. It was about proof. Could Amorim stand toe-to-toe with the best manager in the world? Or would he be exposed like those before him? I feel like I am repeating myself whenever I talk about Manchester United's problems. But the same things keep on happening. They are making the same mistakes, and they are not even that difficult to prevent. I have watched every minute of United's 4 Premier League games this season, and there are certainly areas of improvement, which seems a bizarre thing to say after they have just lost a derby 3-0. I've highlighted the issues with Rubén Amorim's 3-4-2-1 formation since he took charge at Old Trafford last season, and I am not a fan of that shape, but they have worked on it and you can tell. They look more compact as a team now. When they are attacking or defending, they get in quite a good shape, and the distances between their lines are much smaller, which makes them harder to play through. Unfortunately for Amorim, the improvements they have made there have been overlooked because of the silly mistakes they are making in conceding goals, which are costing them points. When I look at some of the goals they have conceded this season, including Phil Foden's opener for City at Etihad Stadium on Sunday, they are down to selection issues and players being used in the wrong position, rather than the system itself. In the first half against City, United did well. They won the ball back 4 or 5 times high up the pitch, and with a bit more finesse in those counterattacks, they could have scored themselves. One of the problems with Amorim's 3-4-2-1 is that the 2 holding midfielders can be outnumbered, but that did not happen at Etihad Stadium because Bryan Mbeumo and Amad Diallo, who were playing either side of Benjamin Sesko, dropped in. The team narrowed up, which helped Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte in midfield because there were no big gaps. Most of the time, the defense and the midfield were close to each other too. Rather than the defense dropping off like they did last season because of a lack of pace or confidence, City did not completely play through them and tear them apart. And that's not how they scored their first goal either. What happened there is that you have got Fernandes, arguably one of the best number 10s in the world, playing in a deeper center midfield role as a number 8 when his instincts are not defensive. A simple run off the back from Foden was all it took to lose him. You could argue Luke Shaw might have done better when the ball was in the box, but Foden is free by that point because Fernandes switched off. As I highlighted on Match of the Day, he is ball watching when the cross comes over. I don't think he is lazy because he is back in position. He is just not used to spotting runners and seeing danger. That's the second time he has cost United a goal this season, because he also failed to track Emile Smith-Rowe for Fulham's equaliser when they dropped points at Craven Cottage in August. The irony with Fernandes against City was that certain aspects of his play in the middle of the pitch were extremely good. It's not a totally stupid idea to play him there, because his passing from deep is tremendous to find the runners ahead of him, and he is technically excellent as well as being brave on the ball. The problem is what happens without it. A player of his intelligence should be able to learn to switch on a bit more in defensive situations too, but it's clearly not happening. You just can't play in that role if that's a regular occurrence for you, and it is down to the manager. Has played in a back three before, but he has spent the majority of his career as a dynamic left back, and it feels like he is being shoehorned into a center-back position under Amorim. Again, you can argue he should have the quality to adapt, and for Jeremy Doku to beat him so easily for the first goal was poor defending, whether you are a left back or a center half. But if any players are not completely comfortable in their roles, then it is going to affect the team. For City's second goal, again, it was not down to the United system failing, more a mixture of things, and a multitude of individual mistakes. Ugarte starts off on Foden, but then follows the ball, like he did in the City move that led to their opener, and goes to press Nico O'Reilly, leaving Foden free. From there, it's a knock-on effect. Noussair Mazraoui comes out to Foden but can't stop him playing a pass around the corner. Lenny Yoro gets rolled by Jeremy Doku, the one player you know you don't get tight to. Then Shaw is not strong or fast enough to stop Erling Haaland. Ultimately, most goals are down to a mistake somewhere. But when players are comfortable in the system and in the right position within it, they do the right things. And the errors don't stack up like that. We have to remember that United's start to the season has not been horrendous. They should have beaten Arsenal. They did beat Burnley.
7 minutes into stoppage time. Bruno Fernandes steps up! There's your captain!
Will feel they had enough chances in the first half against Fulham to get the job done there too. But they got found out against City, and as the second half wore on, they could have shipped even more goals. We know by now Amorim won't change his formation.
I understand that, and I accept. So it's not a record that you should have in Manchester United. There are a lot of things that you have no idea what happened during these months, but I accept that. But I'm not going to change. When I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man. So and we will talk about that every game that we lose. I don't believe in that in the system or whatever. I play my way, and I'm going to play my will until I want to change.
But he is bringing a lot of his problems on himself by picking the wrong players in the wrong position within it. I still think Fernandes as a number 10, with two holding midfielders behind him, is one of the best in the world, but it seems unlikely he will get the chance to show it at United. If United continue to play the same personnel in the same system, including Fernandes in central midfield, a role he has not played often, enough to understand, then the same things we are seeing are probably going to keep happening. It's very rare that players change their thinking on the pitch that much, and while they don't have that balance, they are going to keep getting caught out. Began after the match. In the press room, reporters sharpened their questions like knives. Why did the system fail? Are the players good enough? Did United hire the wrong man? Amorim answered with defiance. He spoke of patience, of a process, of a team learning to suffer before it can grow. But his words rang hollow for many, because United fans had heard it all before, from Moyes to Van Gaal, Mourinho to Solskjaer, Ten Hag to Amorim. Promises of progress, of culture, of identity, all drowned by results. Pundits tore into the performance. The midfield doesn't work. The back three is exposed every week? United look like they don't believe in their own system.
Nice easy one for you to start with.
He's not going to. I mean, when Rubén Amorim first came, I was quite heartened by the fact that he was going to play three at the back, because I felt that they didn't have two centre-backs that were good enough to play in a four. But every single time I watch Manchester United, he changes the back three every single game, which tells you he's not sure about which back three he should play. And he doesn't just change the back three, he changes the back five. So you either have different wing backs or you have different centre backs. I mean, the amount of times you see Dillick go over to the right hand side, Maguire coming on, every single match. So look, system, no system, there are a lot of individual errors out there today as well. Luke Shaw had one of his worst games that I've seen him have. He's had a pretty decent start to the season, but all three goals he could have done better. You've just shown the one there where he was square. On the second goal, he was, he got obviously done by Haaland, and then on the third goal he leaves it short for Maguire, who then obviously doesn't help himself either by the pass.
On social media, the verdict was brutal. Some called him a fraud, others begged for patience, but the one question echoed louder than all. Is Amorim just another chapter in the book of false dawns? And as the dust settled, United fans weren't just angry. They were afraid that this wasn't the beginning of something new, but the continuation of 13 years of chaos. But football never stops, and waiting ahead was a schedule that could decide Amorim's fate. The road ahead is brutal. Chelsea, Liverpool, Brighton recently beat Man City, Nottingham Forest fighting for survival, Sunderland desperate for glory, Brentford's energy waiting to pounce. 6 matches that could define Amorim's reign. United are still fragile, still living in Ferguson's shadow. But for others, it's just the beginning. Sometimes humiliation is the spark that ignites a fire. Sesko, raw but powerful. Mainu, young but fearless. Lamens, a goalkeeper with everything to prove. The future is here. But the question is, can Amorim unlock it before it's too late? Because at Manchester United, patience doesn't exist. The weight of history crushes everything, and unless results change, Amorim may become just another name in the graveyard of Old Trafford managers. The derby didn't just end in defeat. It opened a chapter of truth, a reminder that Manchester United are no longer feared, and that to rise again, they must confront the darkness within. 3 goals, 1 defeat. But maybe the moment that decides everything